To be here, and thank you for inviting me, and thank you for coming to here. I don't have anything to sell, really.
Think of something.
Quick. I'm not a typical visitor from Israel. I'm not a representative of my government. And I have a whole different attitude than you're probably used to hearing. I went to Israel about 30 years ago. Not because I didn't like living here. I mean, I love this country. I was born here. I grew up here. I think I understand the pulse of America. I went home because that's exactly what it is. It was there, and I was able to do it. We were exiled from our home over 2,000 years ago and condemned to wander all over the world and managed to live in every country that we were exiled. 2,000 years is a very long time. And although everywhere we went, we never forgot our connection to the land of Israel. Every time we break bread, we thank God for the food that He gives us and for the land of Israel. For 2,000 years, we've been doing this. It's a blessing straight from the Torah. Every time we pray to God, we pray that He will return us home to the land. Zion was a dream of 2,000 years. And the irony is that in our generation, when we begin to see the dream finally coming true, that so many of our people ignore it. The United States of America has been a wonderful host country to the Jewish people, but this is not our home. Our home has always been in Israel, always. And now that we have a Jewish state, there's no reason why we shouldn't be coming home. And to my way of thinking, a Jew that has lost that yearning is really violating laws in our Torah, is really not being grateful for what God has done for us. In Israel proper, my leaders don't appreciate the miracles that have taken place there. They don't understand what's going on. 1967 was a miracle. And in 1967, I don't think anybody couldn't see that miracle. Everybody saw it, with the possible exception of Moshe Dayan, who wanted to undo it immediately for peace. And my friends, my government has been trying to undo that miracle ever since 1967 till this very day. Now, I will ask you a very simple question. If we give all of Judea, Samaria, Gaza, and the Golan Heights and Jerusalem to the Arabs tomorrow, do you think we'll have peace? Do you think peace will result?
Never.
If they have everything they want, do you think we'll have peace?
No.
And the easy way to answer that question is, how come we went to war in 1967 when they had Judea, Samaria, the Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem? They had all this. Why did they go to war then? If all they want is those lands, then why did we have war? We don't even think of the simple things. We never came to dispossess anybody. We came home. The state of Jordan today is sitting on 80% of Jewish soil. There are parts of Egypt and Syria that belong to us. No Jewish government's looking to conquer it. It will be returned to us someday by God, by miracles. So what do they want from the little tiny piece that we have left? It's just a little tiny piece of what belongs to us. Why do the Arabs need more land when they have so much land? You can't describe the amount, the difference between this tiny little country and all of the Arab lands that surround us. If the Arabs want to create a new state called Palestine, they can do it in Syria, they can do it in Saudi Arabia, they can do it in the 22 different nations that have more land than they need.
They don't want that. That's the problem.
The only reason the Palestinians, people call Palestinians, there are no such people. There never existed. There never was such a people. The only reason they want to create a new state is to destroy the Jewish one. They created an artificial underdog to create sympathy for their cause, and all the Arab nations are in cahoots with them. A number of years back, I remember watching Jordan television, and Jordan television had a map of Jordan. And if you looked at the map of Jordan, it included all of Israel. I mean, they all want a piece of the action. Everybody wants to destroy the country and take it. And if we weren't there, they'd be fighting amongst themselves. We're actually making peace among the Arabs. They're joining together in their common cause to destroy us, and that's what makes peace. This whole peace process is such a farce. It's such an absolutely outrageous, unbelievable concept. Like President Clinton once said, we have to get the Israelis and the Arabs to reconcile their differences. Well, what are our differences? They want us to die and we want to live. So how do you reconcile those differences? We die slowly? It's ridiculous. And yet I have leaders that are doing exactly that. They're committing suicide on a gentle basis. Ariel Sharon did the most outrageous thing. I remember watching him on television, and he said, next year at this time, there will be not one Jew living in Gaza. Now, if any other person in the world would make such a statement, they would be considered anti-Semitic. His own party didn't agree. So what did this man do? He started a new party. He ignored not only the people, but his own party. And he bulldozed this whole thing through. I was so angry when I heard him make that statement. I yelled at my television set. I said, next year you're not going to be prime minister. And my son reminded me I was off by 3 days. God punishes those who go against him. And what he did was a horrible thing. And he got a very unusual and appropriate punishment.